really sit. I've seen you sit sometimes, and you're just like this.
Yeah.
I mean, so it's like, you know, you're trying
I've had to sort of adjust the way I sit.
Yeah, and you do in rehearsal. You see it.
Yeah, I have to sort of keep it during breaks, because if I start crossing my legs and stuff during breaks,
Yeah, it's a habit.
It's a habit, and
Yeah.
I just have to sort of
All right, get into that.
slouch around. Playing a little boy has been interesting. I don't consider myself very boyish. I think the most boyish thing about me might be my haircut, and that's about it.
Right.
I've had to completely readjust the way I sit, walk, my mannerisms, and I think that was kind of a humorous challenge during the rehearsal process. Would be when, you know, we'd be in the middle of something and Harrison would be like, "Stop crossing your legs."
Right.
It's like everything was good, and then you fell down like a little girl. And running like a girl, I didn't realize I run so much like a girl, but there's definitely a difference between the way a boy would run and a girl runs.
Yep.
I will say the most difficult part was during the Mrs. Loftus scene, because I'm a woman playing a boy, playing a girl.
Or what you think a girl is.
Or what a boy would think a girl is.
Right.
So it was hard to not just play a girl. And I've had notes several times from Harrison saying, "You're a little too good at being a girl." Which, you know, what can you do?
Yeah, what can you do? Yeah.
What can you do? But trying to think, okay, how would a boy view the way a girl sits? Or the way a woman sits? And being able to sort of play off what Rob is doing, you know. Rob would do something and then I would do it, and then I think, but it has to be the way a boy would do it. So, you know, it's almost like taking what you would do as a girl and then going over the top with it.
Kind of making fun of yourself.
Yes, yes. It was sort of like making fun of myself. That's actually a really good way to think of it. I'll have to try that tonight in rehearsal. I'll just make fun of myself during that scene. An Annie parody.
An Annie parody.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, that is interesting. It's always fun to watch that scene. Watch that scene kind of turn out of you having to find, because you don't really plan anything. You just kind of go, I'm going to go into this house and I'm going to be the best impression of a girl that I can be.
And I think Huck gets taken off guard because he thinks this is going to be an awesome idea. Sure, I'm a master at lying. I can go be a girl. How hard is it to be a girl? And then he gets to the doorstep and he's like,
Ooh.
I don't know. I'm wearing a bonnet and there's a lady here and she expects me to actually be a girl.
Yeah, and what is it like having to, I mean, as an actor, everything is spontaneous, but this is like really, you're enjoying fishing for the words to say. What is it like? I mean, you constantly lie throughout the whole show.
I would say in these extended speeches that I have with people, where Huck is spinning a web and telling a lie, it has been sort of a challenge to, you know, think, okay, I, the actor, know what's coming up next. Huck does not know what's coming up next, but Huck is not afraid of what's coming up next, because Huck knows he can come up with something. So it's been trying to find that place of, oh no, I'm on the seat of my, you know, I'm flying by the seat of my pants, but I'm okay with that, which is hard for me because I'm not someone who's okay with flying by the seat of my pants. So I had to sort of adjust the way, you know, I would think about telling a great big long story. He's not so nervous about lying. It comes very easy to him. He actually gets a kick out of it. It's like an adrenaline high for him. So it's this exciting sport for him to, you know, to tell tales and to create them as he goes. We're going to tour through, I believe after the show closes here, we have a tour date every week through November. So, you know, I'm going to have a good 2 months of taking this to different places. And I'm excited about that because, one, I've never toured a show before. And two, I've always enjoyed performing more than rehearsing. And I mean, the rehearsal process is very important.
Sure.
But I find that I make so many more discoveries while performing. And so having that rehearsal period shorter and the performance period longer, I think I'm going to enjoy it. And I think also it'll be neat to see how the piece evolves from opening night here at Kennesaw to closing wherever, we're going to end. Because that's not the way I've done shows before. It's been, you make all those discoveries during rehearsal. So getting to sort of grow a piece in front of an audience will be neat. I always do better in front of an audience. I love having an audience. You get to just feed off that energy and stuff that you think was brilliant or just really funny, they might not. Or stuff that you thought was just this tragic, wonderful, sad part, they're cracking up at. So, it just completely, you really don't know what product you have until you get the audience in there.
Question, what was it like first coming into the show and Harrison says, we are going to let the word nigger fly around this room, and having 2 black actors in the room with you? How's it like for the first time to say that and almost have to feel comfortable with it? For me, it was not.
Not gonna lie, I don't even feel like I can say it right now.
Right.
That's a word that I just avoid, quite rightly. I don't use that word ever. I was not uncomfortable rehearsing it because that's the piece, and we're going back in time. I mean, we're showing how this was used. This word, this degrading word, was used back then. So I didn't feel personally connected to saying the word. My character's saying the word, and my other actors, my fellow actors understand that. I don't feel like, having black actors, in the show with me and me saying that, I don't think anyone got offended, but I think it was interesting when we sat down and did table work before, just discussing the word. It's so emotionally charged.
That's
and
that's
it's
what I'm
just
referring
kind
to.
of icky. You just don't want to, it's one of those words you don't just say. And so I don't feel like, I didn't feel nervous I don't feel nervous saying it in the show. I think that's, it's, Scott Kaiser kept it in there for a reason. I think it's important that we don't, completely just sugarcoat all of this. But still, it's still something, that you think about and something you tell people about before they come see. That's why we've, this website we have, totally interactive, completely all this information for these educators and students, because they need to know what they're coming into. And we've rehearsed this for so long now. I mean, we've all kind of become not desensitized to it, but we've heard it so much in the rehearsal process that other people coming to see the show, it's probably going to be like, ooh, you said that, ooh. And, in lines where we definitely want to punch that up. I mean, that has to stick out, but also, in a way, it doesn't stick out to Huck. That's just normal language. That is what black people are called to Huck. And he doesn't think he's being degrading. And back then, by their standards, he wasn't being as degrading as we would think now. So it's been that fine line between how much are we going to punch this up and how much of it are we going to, make the comment that this was second nature. This was just, and sadly, that was what they said. That was acceptable.